We are looking at understanding India's stand in global climate crisis. This particular topic will cover India's point of view to fight back. Okay, there. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this next episode under the section of GK, where we cover important topics which may be asked in your GDPI sessions across colleges. This is a very interesting topic that we have today, which requires serious attention not just from the government but us as citizens of the country also. We are looking at understanding India's stand in global climate crisis. All right. So there is a climate crisis going on right now, and this particular topic will cover India's point of view to fight back. How India plans to ensure that the CO2 emissions that they release out in the nature will be sustained, and how we plan to curb issues related to climate crisis. All right, so with that, let's get into the details of this particular topic. All right, as always, let's start with a little question, a food for thought. Climate is changing. Of course, you see a lot of changes. If you guys are living in Mumbai recently, we've been experiencing a mix of, winters, rains, all together, even though it's not the right season. All right, so it's a mix of everything. Across the country, in fact, the climate has been changing throughout. But the question that arises is, why aren't we changing? Why aren't we adopting better ways to ensure that the climate is supported to the best of our capabilities? Why aren't we ensuring that there are ways in which we behave that are not affecting the country or not affecting the climate that adversely? Right? So that's a good food for thought that I want you guys to think about before we move on to the next part of this video. Okay, let's just try and understand the current situation that we are in right now. What is India's stand, or where does India stand with respect to carbon emissions? All right, so this particular chart that you see on the side, this is data as of 2020, quite recent, and we can see the carbon emissions across countries. So the leading, of course, is China, followed by the US, and on the third number, as we can see, is us, that's India. Right, so India is the third highest CO2 emitter. All right, and with a fast rising population, and the economy primarily reliant on coal and oil in our country, the country's emissions are bound to increase unless action is taken to reduce them at this particular point of time itself. If that is not done, then there will be a situation wherein it will be really, really difficult to contain the kind of CO2 emissions that are coming through from the country. All right, next up we have something known as the COP26 climate deal, and we will talk about this in a detail as well. So, what is it that we will get into in this is that India, along with China, negotiated a last minute revision to the COP26 climate deal, easing a pledge to reduce emissions from coal combustion. Right? We will learn a little more about this deal further in the presentation. Right? Let's move ahead. बेसिकली व्हाट इज इंडिया स्टैंड इन ग्लोबल क्लाइमेट क्राइसिस में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है कि व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज आवर टेक इन दिस. Right, so these given below are couple of points that you need to remember with respect to numbers that you can talk about in the GD session. Right, number one, there's a 5-point strategy which is dubbed as a Amrita at the 26th conference of parties. All right. Now, what are the 5 points included under this particular strategy? Let's look at them. The first one, India's non-fossil, all right, non-fossil energy capacity will reach 500 gigawatts by 2030. That's point number one in the 5-point strategy. Second point is that by the year 2030, India will have met 50% of its energy needs with renewable energy, all right, which is the preferred form of energy. Now, starting today, from this particular year until 2030, India will lower overall estimated carbon emissions by 1 billion tons. All right, that's a huge number that we're talking about. Next up, again by the year 2030, India's economy will have reduced its carbon intensity by less than 45%. That's another huge claim that we're planning to make. So by the year 2070, India will achieve the target of net zero. Right? So these are the 5 points that have been mentioned in the strategy. Most of them are with respect to the year 2030. So 2030 तक क्या क्या होने वाला है? We will have non-fossil energy capacity to reach 500 gigawatts. By 2030, we will have 50% of the energy needs made up by renewable energy. Again, overall estimated carbon emissions will be reduced by 1 billion tons, and we will have reduced the carbon intensity by less than 45%. So, by the year 2070, India will achieve the net zero target. Right? Let's move on. Okay, another important aspect of this particular topic, which is, are we alone in this? Right? And this is a very important idea, a very important spin that you need to have with respect to this particular topic. So ensure that if you've stuck around right till this point, you hit that like button. Comment below on what your thought process is with respect to the 5 point strategy that we've covered previously, and let us try and understand and combine together our thought processes which can help each other in the GD session. Right? Now, are we alone in this? So, emphasize the necessity of collaboration. All right? We must, who he is mentioned here, we are referring to Narendra Modi. All right? We must all work together. The thought process is that through collaboration, their world will be able to establish a global economy which is solely based on clean energy. So it's all about collaboration, guys. It cannot be a situation that one country looks at clean energy and there are 100 other countries not giving any heed to this, right? Not paying any heed to this. If that is the situation, we are not going to improve. We need collaboration in a way that we plan to have a global economy that is based on clean energy. The State Department's recent series on diaspora diplomacy and climate change focused on partnership is another area, crucial area, that talks about that we are not alone in this. Alright? The virtual event showcased NRDC's collaboration with the administrative staff of India in Telangana. Alright? Now, the future conversations and alliances such as diaspora diplomacy are important if global warming is to stay below the 1.5 degrees Celsius, 2.7 degree Fahrenheit threshold. Alright? Next thing, very important point, guys, very important. Investing in green recovery. Green recovery is another crucial area that we definitely need to focus on, and hence this particular part also becomes important.